Have you ever thought, wow, I wish I knew how to code something? I can tell you pretty confidently that everyone who has picked up a keyboard, I guess you don't really pick up a keyboard. Anyone who has ever coded anything has had that same wish. Well, luckily for all of us, we have the internet, and there are some smart people out there who have written tons of code that we can just use for free. You can find code in so many places online, like Stack Overflow, GitHub, or any number of tutorial sites. For Python, the de facto way of getting these packages of code is by using PIP, Package Installer for Python. I think that's just why they call it PIP. It doesn't really roll off the tongue. A package is basically just a number of helpful classes, functions, and other stuff that allows you to solve a problem. For example, if you want to make a graph of any kind using Python, matplotlib has you covered. Do you want to make HTTP requests from Python without having to worry about the network layer and all that confusing stuff? URL lib3 is one of the packages that can help you with that. There are often multiple packages built by different people or groups that can achieve the same things. Some are more performant, more popular, or just nicer to use. But it's up to you what you can use, and there usually isn't a wrong answer. But first, how do you actually use pip? Well, if you installed Python from python.org, by perhaps following a certain tutorial, then you should already have pip installed. Let's check this out by opening up the command line and typing PIP and pressing enter. If you didn't see what I saw, or you got some error, then check out the link in the description to try and get pip installed properly for you. How do you install a package though? You just have to type PIP install and then the package name, say like my package. No, we won't do that one. Let's take a look at a package that can help with dates called Pendulum. But first, why do we need help with dates? We've all looked at a calendar and a clock before, right? Well, do you know how many time zones there are? Do you know how to convert between each time zone? Did you know that there are time zones that could be a half hour ahead or behind? Yeah, believe it or not, but time zones are hard. Pendulum helps with that, so you don't have to figure out all that stuff by yourself. The package has just done it for you. So let's go ahead and show this in action. To install Pendulum, you can either open up a command prompt, or you can just use the debugger that we have been using within Visual Studio Code. To install Pendulum, you just have to type PIP install Pendulum. Press enter. There we go. It is now installed. Now, you can start using Pendulum in any of your Python scripts on your computer. So let's go ahead and see what it can do. Let's type import Pendulum, and there we go. We have it. Simple as that. Pendulum is basically just a module that's available anywhere on any Python script running on your computer. So one thing we can do with Pendulum is print the current time of some place in the world. We can do that by typing pendulum.now and passing it a string where we pass a continent, say Asia, and put a slash and then a major city, say Tokyo. Now let's run. Great. So we got 2022, July 24th, and it is 1:35 a.m. And you can see it's +9 based off of UTC. Now, I'm Canadian and I live near Toronto. So let's do the exact same thing for Toronto. We can do America and Toronto. And then let's run this and see what happens. Great. So we can see that we have the same thing. It is a little past 12:30 here, and it is 4 hours behind UTC. But there's actually another way of doing this too. We can create a variable called now in Toronto, and we can call pendulum.datetime. This actually allows us to pass any date and time. So we'll pass in this and the 7th for July. Now, if we don't pass in anything else, it will just use UTC. But we don't want to use UTC because because we know what time zone we're in right now. So we'll do America, Toronto. Now, let's just copy this here and print this out. Great. So you might notice we get slightly different output because now it's not doing the exact time of now. It's just doing basically 0 o'clock for a Toronto time zone, because we didn't pass in any kind of like hour or anything like that. So we could pass that stuff in if we wanted to, but we don't really have to. So let's just do the same thing, but let's do it for Tokyo. So we can just simply copy this, change this to Tokyo, and then we'll change this part here to Tokyo. And then let's print out Tokyo as well. Great. So we can see here, now we have the exact same stuff, but we can see that we have the time zones here. And if we do some quick math in our head here, we can actually tell that the difference between these two is 13. But let's be honest, nobody likes doing math in their head. So let's make the computer do it for us. So we can do something like now in Tokyo, .diff, now in Toronto, and then we can do .in hours. Great. Now if we print this out, we can see that the difference is 13. So now, with the help of Pendulum or any other date time helper from PIP, you can manage dates easily with Python. There are thousands of packages on PIP ready for you to use. So the next time you think it may be too hard to make a Python script because you don't know how to do something, PIP might be able to help you out. Thanks for watching. Remember, never stop learning. Cheers.